Baby, code switching is expensive as hell. And I'm not talking about the type of code switching you do like at the corporate office with your team and like your boss and all that. I'm talking about when you bringing it to your business. That thing is costly. It's costing us a lot more than we think. And the worst part is we're doing it thinking we're doing something good. We're code switching and performing professionalism, feeling like, yeah, we're doing something that we need to do, we're supposed to do. And in the back end, it's costing us a lot. Okay? But the problem really is you don't even realize, because it feels so normal. You actually feel like you're doing something right. So you don't even question it. And that's crazy.
Welcome to Codeswitch Rebellion. This is the unfiltered podcast for Black women who are done shrinking, chasing perfection, and performing professionalism in their own business. I'm Melanie L. Denny, aka Melly D, personal branding consultant and the identity strategist. This is where we talk about what it really takes to build a personal brand rooted in who you are, not who you were conditioned to be. Round here, we have real, raw conversations about what it means to show up with integrity, authority, and bold authenticity so you can attract better clients and bigger opportunities. Let's get into it.
So when we think about code switching, we always tend to like think about corporate. We think about your job, right? You think about how you act when you at work, your work self and then your regular self. We always separate the two. And the thing is, when you leave corporate, you still bring a lot of that conditioning with you, right? But here's the thing. You left the boss, you left that dress code, you left the performance review, you left all the biased people, you left them over there in the corporate world. So you should be free, right? You should be more free to do you and be you. But the conditioning clearly does not disappear just because all of those other influences disappeared, right? You brought that shit with you. And it shows. I'm telling y'all, it shows. I talk to a lot of Black women who have businesses, and it is clear as day that they have corporatized or over professionalized, whatever you want to call it. I'm making up words here. But you can tell they have done this intentionally when they write their content, when they write their website copy, the way they price their offers, how they describe their offers, how they show up on a sales call, how they talk about what they do. All of it is a performance. So in this episode, we're going to walk through the 3 real costs of performing professionalism in your own business and what it's really doing to you. So the first cost is energy. Baby. The time that we spend polishing ourselves up, overthinking what we're going to wear, overthinking how we should do our hair, making sure that we're toning it down, second guessing everything we say, picking our words, monitoring our tone, editing ourselves, controlling our emotions. There's so much energy being expelled on just how you show up that the work suffers. And so you are expelling so much energy on the wrong shit. All of that energy needs to go into your client work. It needs to go into how you do your work. It needs to go into your creativity. It needs to go into your marketing versus going into you and adjusting your tone and your words, right? It's too much. It's too much. And something always has to give. And so trying to always be polished and present and perfect is just a lot. Well, we could just say what we got to say in plain words. Just think about it. The last time like you recorded a video and you felt like you needed to say everything perfectly, you felt like you needed a script, you felt like you needed to like really make sure every T was crossed. Let me tell you, if you listen to any of these episodes, you could tell that I'm just talking for the most part. I do have outline. I do keep the episode structured, but I'm saying it in my own words. I'm really just trying to be as real as possible. And the fact is, I too suffer with performing sometimes. I have not arrived. I'm not perfect, right? But I know when something doesn't feel like me and I'm like, oh, no. Let's redo that, right? No, I'm self-aware now to the point where I'm like, ooh, that didn't sound like you at all. Run it back. You feel me? So you have to really recognize where your energy is going. I mean, think about when you did your last sales call. Were you trying to be like, okay, so welcome. And today we're going to talk about da 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 da. Like, or would you like, hey, what's up? So listen, we're going to talk about this, 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 and this, and blah, blah, blah. You see how different that sounds? It's natural. And they pick up on the fact that you're trying to be quote unquote professional. They pick up on the fact that you're not really real. And it makes them question, well, who is she really? Because this is not her. Think about the last time you walked into the room and nobody looked like you. You already was like, okay, let me turn it on. Let me turn on my performance because these people are not going to like or welcome me as I am. I'm not good enough to speak the way I speak amongst these folks, so let me turn it up. You didn't already turn it on before anybody said anything to you. Nobody asked you to do that in that room. You're using history and things that happened in your past to determine this is how I need to show up in this space. The performance was already on autopilot, baby.
I got a quick question for you. Do you keep attracting the wrong clients or no clients at all? Something's going wrong with your personal brand, boo. And it's okay, but before you can fix it, you gotta really know what's going on. You gotta assess and see what needs to be fixed so you can take the next best steps. If you're ready to get off that struggle bus and stop winging it, book a digital brand audit. This is a personalized deep dive on how you're showing up online. We dive into what's working, what's missing, and what's really holding you back from those opportunities or those clients that you know you deserve. Book your digital brand audit today.
You know, we only have the same 24 hours in a day, right? And if you're spending most of that time managing how you're being perceived, you're taking away from actually doing the work. The energy being expelled is costing you the work. The energy you're losing is costing you the work. The second thing is costing you is your creativity. So here's the thing. There was a study that I saw, and it was talking about that people bring their best ideas when they feel safe to show up as they are, right? So when you're managing who you are and how you show up and your identity, then you're not being as creative as you could be. So again, when you free up that energy from editing yourself, you could use that energy to be creative, to think of things, to think of new ideas and not feel like, well, that's dumb. Let me not say that. Or that will show how smart I am, which is an issue. Or they're going to shoot me down or someone's going to steal my idea anyway. Let me just chill. All of those things are playing in our heads and now we can't be as creative. So like, for example, when you want to post something, you know what you want to say. You said it in the post. It felt good, felt right. And then you didn't talk yourself out of it before hitting post. You didn't put out some watered down version of what you actually wanted to say. Not the potent you, fully you version. Or you don't even post it at all. That is a cost because that was an opportunity for someone to connect with you that you lost because you either edited yourself down or you didn't post it at all. And it happens a lot more than you probably realize. So the performance is draining you and is diluting everything you put out, and it stifles your creativity and even creativity in how you show up, right? So for example, physically, with the clothes you wear, your hairstyles. I'm in high school, I used to do crazy hairstyles just because I wanted to be different. I was always like, no, everybody doing that. I don't want to do that. I want to do something else. And so I would do these crazy wild hairstyles. And people were like, girl, what you do with your hair? I was like, isn't it cute? Yeah, ain't nobody go wear this. It's different. And I didn't care a lick. Do you think I could have been that creative if I was performing and wanted to be accepted, wanted to be with the norm? I would not. I would keep my hair the standard way of wearing hair. And my expression would have been stifled. My creativity would have been stifled. So think about that and what it's costing in creativity. The third cost is opportunity. Ooh. And then some of this is actually about self-rejection. So speaking engagements, you feel like you want pitches that you want to send, the opportunity for people to see you, to connect with you, to learn about you, to hear your story, to connect with your story, for you to inspire someone. So there's a TED Talk coming to my area. And I saw TED Talk coming, applications coming out soon. I said, ooh, I'm going to apply. I bought this book about TED Talks because I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted to apply and get it. I was trying to read this book. I was trying to get it right. I was trying so hard to like be what they wanted me to be. And here's the thing. I never did apply. The deadline came and went. And then I started seeing other people that got in. And someone that we knew got in. And I was like, how you get in? And I told my husband, look, such and such is doing a TED Talk. And I said, I was going to apply too. And he was so upset. He was like, hey, you didn't apply? You need to stop doing that. Just do it. Just go. You got to just go. Believe in yourself. Just put yourself out there. I'm like, you are so right. And it cost me that opportunity. Even if I would have applied and they would have said no, at the very least, you have to put yourself out there. Because if you don't, the answer is always automatic hell to the no because you're not even in the running. Thinking about that stuff and saying, oh, I want to do a TED Talk, but why would they pick me? And a part of that too, I saw like 600 people applied. I was like, out of 600 people, why would they pick me? Girl, please. And I just kind of talked myself out of it. And this was recently. The TED Talk didn't even happen yet. So we are all still working on this stuff. I have not arrived, but I'm self-aware. The energy, the creativity, the opportunity, all of that boils back down to money, your cash, right? Because if we spent the energy in marketing ourselves versus editing ourselves, we could make more money, get more clients in the door. If we allowed ourselves to be more creative, that could mean more people coming in the door, more money. If we shot our shot for the opportunity, that could mean more money. So it's costing us. It's costing us all these things. And in truth, it is costing us money. And we as Black women cannot afford to not get paid. So now, moving forward, after you really write that piece of content, after you do that sales call, after you pitch yourself for that opportunity, ask yourself, was that me or was that a performance? And this is not going to happen overnight, but you have to start being able to tell the difference and be self-aware. Because the business that you know you can build and the amount of money that you know you can make, it's not going to happen until you recognize these behaviors that are costing you. This was another episode of Codeswitch Rebellion. And never forget, your identity is the strategy. Deuces.
If this episode sparked something in you and you want to continue the conversation, join me over on Substack. I would love to hear your thoughts on today's topic. Till next time, y'all, remember, your identity is the strategy.